How did Ladybugs force the kid running our school's hate page to admit everything? An anonymous Instagram account that posted the worst secrets and lies about kids at our school started during my senior year. People would send in gossip or photos through DMs, but the page owner definitely had their own ways of finding stuff out because they posted things nobody else could have known. 3 different kids tried to hurt themselves because of what got posted about them, and one girl almost didn't make it after the page announced her abortion and called her horrible names. When my best friend became the latest target with posts about her dad being in prison for something he didn't even do, she called me at 2 in the morning saying she was going to transfer schools or maybe just drop out completely. I talked her out of it and promised her I would figure out who was behind this. I started by making a fake profile and messaging the page pretending to have gossip about a popular kid to see how they'd respond. They messaged back right away asking for photos and more details. I noticed something weird about how they typed. They always used 2 spaces after periods and never used apostrophes, writing things like don't and won't instead. I'd seen that exact same thing before in one of my class group chats. The messages came at specific times too, always during lunch or right after 7th period, which matched up with when this kid Jonathan had free periods. I checked every post time against our class schedules, and they never posted during his basketball practice or when he had tests. I started watching him more closely and noticed he was always on his phone right when new posts would show up on the page. When he thought nobody was looking, he'd smirk while typing, and then minutes later, someone would be running to the bathroom crying about a new post. I knew for sure when I saw him screenshot a girl's private Instagram story during lunch, and 2 days later that exact photo showed up on the hate page with mean comments about her weight. When I was planning my next move, I remembered something his ex-girlfriend had mentioned at a party. Jonathan was weirdly terrified of ladybugs because his older brother used to put them in his bed as a kid. She said he literally couldn't handle it if one landed on him and would start freaking out and crying like crazy. So of course I ordered 2,000 ladybugs from a garden supply website. The ladybugs arrived in a container about the size of a water bottle that I could easily hide in my backpack. On Thursday morning, I sat behind Jonathan in our English class like always, keeping my backpack on my desk. While everyone was focused on taking notes about Shakespeare, I carefully opened the container inside my backpack and slipped the open container deep into Jonathan's bag. Nobody noticed because we sat toward the back. When the bell rang and Jonathan grabbed his backpack, hundreds of ladybugs came crawling out like a horror movie. They spilled across his desk and crawled up his arms while he screamed and threw everything on the floor. Get them off! Get them off! Oh God, please someone help me. He was slapping at his body and ripping at his clothes while more ladybugs scattered across the classroom. The other students were jumping on their chairs and running for the door while Jonathan fell to his knees crying like crazy. The bugs were in his hair and going down his shirt collar as he completely lost it. I stood up and said loudly enough for everyone to hear, maybe this is karma for whoever runs that hate page. Jonathan looked at me through his tears, shaking and barely breathing. Fine, I run the hate page. Just make them stop, please. I'm sorry. He couldn't stop crying and slapping at himself. I'll delete everything. Just get them away from me. He ripped his shirt off in the middle of the classroom and kept swatting at bugs that weren't even there anymore. I did it all for fun. I liked watching people suffer. I'm sorry. Please just help me. The teacher called security while Jonathan curled into a ball on the floor, still confessing to specific posts he'd made about different kids. The school went through his phone and found screenshots of private conversations, photos he'd stolen, and notes about which secrets would hurt students the most. The police got involved because some of the posts were illegal, and the screenshots showed he'd been blackmailing 2 students. Jonathan's parents tried transferring him quietly, but no school would take him. He ended up doing online school, and his college acceptance got canceled when they found out about the charges.